Along with glitter and new opportunities, the new year brings with it guilt or shame for not having done things that we said we would a year ago. Personally, I've noticed this more this year than ever before. In my group coaching program, this came up last week when someone asked how to ease the guilt when they're setting very similar goals this year than they had set last year. And even as I was watching Vox's recap of 2021 and scrolling the comment section there under, I saw a lot of individuals talk about 2021 as a blur. Although it may feel like the last 2 years have lasted a lifetime, history is not an accurate representation of what's possible for you today and what's possible for you moving forward. And that's what I want to talk about today. I'll be sharing one interesting positive psychology theory to help ground and understand why many of us feel the way we do in 2022, and end with a powerful journaling exercise that will help you continue walking into this new year with a little more self-compassion and with a lot of inspired action. Let's actually start with some positive psychology that seems to communicate the opposite of what I just said. There's something in positive psych that's called the hedonic treadmill. This is the theory that as humans we have a set point of happiness and well-being and life satisfaction. And even when really great things happen to us or really not so great things happen to us, we find a way of leveling back to that set point. Can you think of a time in your life where something really big happened in your life? Maybe you got into your dream school, you accepted your dream position, you earned a lot of money. At first, it was likely really exciting. You got really emotionally charged about this thing that happened in your life, and then a few days or weeks or months go by. What happened? Were you still at that really high point, or did you kind of come back to neutral, to your baseline? Likewise, we could flip the coin and think of a time where something really hard happened in your life. There was a time of grief or sadness or frustration or anger. Even those deep, hard feelings ease over time. Keep this in mind. I am not referring to mental illness. That is a different story. And for a lot of us, there is this theory, and we can apply this to our own life, that most of the time we stay in this middle ground, even when there are highs and lows in life. Another perspective on the same theory is provided by Gay Hendricks in the book The Big Leap. And Gay Hendricks talks about when we level up our life in some area, it is challenging our neutral set point. And because of this, consciously or subconsciously, we may find a way to come back to the status quo. So if our business spikes up and we're really excited and it's thriving, we may consciously or subconsciously ruin a relationship that we're in, or self-sabotage even that experience simply because it is uncomfortable and unknown. But of course, even these psych theories have their caveats. For instance, studies with the hedonic treadmill specify that some individuals are more or less affected by the events in our life. Furthermore, our well-being set points can change over time. A lot of Gay Hendricks' book talks about how your awareness alone can help to avoid the self-sabotage that otherwise comes about through our return to comfort. Let's use this perspective of the hedonic treadmill and Gay Hendricks' idea of our status quo, what we're comfortable with, to look at 2022 with a new perspective. The first step is acknowledging what 2020 and what 2021 were. A ton changed, and for many of us, our life felt derailed from the original plan. And then right from the start, normalize that whatever is happening in 2022, assuming you're making even a micro change, it may feel uncomfortable. So 2 things are happening with this mini exercise before I go into the journal prompts today. The first is awareness and compassion built in to just acknowledging what the years have been. This is what happened. This is how I was feeling. This is what I've grown comfortable with. You may already start to feel that guilt lift because it's acknowledging what has been and what played into whatever your life looked like over the past 2 years, which is likely different than you had planned 3 years ago. And then we are already priming our brain and priming our mindset to anticipate change and discomfort, to anticipate that something new is coming. Applying this to my decision-making framework presented in my book, it will support you to ride the waves after you make a decision and take action with a little more ease and a little more trust. And now for the journal entries to really put all of this into action. Think about and journal, who were you last year? Or if you want, who were you 2 years ago? So January 2020 or January 2021 you. What did your day-to-day look like? What were your interests? What were your dreams? What were your worries and challenges at the time? And then take a step back, shake it off, and think about your 5-year future self. So step into this future version of you and describe them the same way that you described your past self. What do they do? What are their interests? What are their challenges? What are their dreams? Idealize the perfect version of your life 5 years from now. Then answer 2 questions. The first helps to again continue lifting that guilt by asking yourself, how have you already stepped from the past you into the future you? What is one change, or 2 or 5, that has already occurred that shifted past you into future you? And question 2, what is one change or shift, and I really encourage you to keep it at 1, what is one change or shift that past you still needs to make in order to step into future you? And your answer to that second question is what you can do today and what you can start to do this year. I've talked about this on this channel already in the last few weeks, but something we often do at this time of year and anytime we are setting and going after goals, we use a self-critical approach, which not only doesn't feel good, but it doesn't work. Maybe that's what you're experiencing right now if you are feeling any of that pressure or guilt at this time of year. Hopefully this exercise will help to illuminate a way that you can walk through this time of year by first celebrating how far you have already come. Even if it feels like you've only made one small shift, that is a shift nonetheless. Even increased awareness does leaps and bounds for you and your future self. And from that mindset, what is next? What's my next step? Not your first step, but to follow what you have already been doing. That's where you start in 2022. Release that grip on what a new year means and just invite it as another possibility, just really like any other day, to use some reflection, to use some dreaming, and combine all of it to take one more step amongst many toward the future you that you will be one day. Something I'm doing a little bit differently going into 2022 is offering a free group coaching call specifically for this community. As many of you know, I have a group coaching program where I introduce a new wellness challenge each month to walk members step by step to create a better and more authentic version of their life. And I wanted to create an easy and low pressured way to try this on and see if it's something that would benefit you. Furthermore, to have a space for all of us to come together and be in community on a live call where I can actually talk to you rather than just through this one-sided video platform. This group coaching call is something I'm really excited to offer you. If you want to learn more, or if you simply want to be in a space surrounded by like-minded individuals who are also pursuing a path of personal development and personal growth using positive psychology and self-compassion and baby steps, take that next step, sign up for the call, and I really look forward to seeing you there. The link is below, and I plan to have this every month, so if you're watching this video later than January of 2022, look for the next call time and I'll be there too.